All right, everybody, just calm down. Calm down. Are you serious? Get some coffee and calm down. Jared Kushner might be going to help buy CNN. What? That would be make CNN great again. Matter of fact, I had the privilege of interviewing myself and my son, Paul Jr. We just interviewed the executive producer of The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. This guy ran the Wolf Blitzer show, the Situation Room, for 17 years. We interviewed him, and it is a very interesting interview, to say the least. There was some pushback by him and some pushback by me and Paul Jr. So we'll be airing that on the Paul Begley podcast next Tuesday night. Of course, the Paul Begley podcast always goes live at the Paul Begley podcast channel at 6 p.m. Eastern. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we always go live on the Paul Begley podcast. I want you to watch that. It is really, really good. We'll tell you more about that. I think his name is John Dukakis or something like that. I'll get his exact name. Anyways, a nice guy. And we were very cordial, and we were really, really being very, respectful. But, when he went low, we went higher. Okay. Anyway, he pushed back. I pushed back. Paul pushed back. It was interesting. Interesting. Anyway, I'm glad he accepted the invitation for the interview. All right, guys, let me real quick before we get into Jared Kushner here, because this is crazy. But the number one, did you guys know that thehealthyfat.com/Paul, did you know that the number one worst fruit for your waistline is? Are you turning healthy fruits into highly unhealthy fruits without even realizing it? Fruit can be one of the healthiest things you can put in your body, but the majority of Americans are guilty of making the single mistake that can counteract all the health benefits of fruit. Some fruits can help with occasional constipation. Constipation. It's good. Irritation. No, it can reduce the bloating and even help burn the calories. Others can wreak havoc on your digestive system, like I said, and the energy levels. So when I came across this viral presentation from that world-renowned heart surgeon, Dr. Stephen Gundry, as he showcased 3 fruits to stop eating right now, today. Why? It was shocking. And I had no idea that after you find out, I stopped eating them too. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this link to this video. You got to watch the video. There it is. Thehealthyfat.com/Paul. Thehealthyfat.com/Paul. Watch the video. Find out about these fruits that you don't want to eat and why, and how that you can eat healthy and lose weight and feel great. Let them help you. Thehealthyfat.com/Paul. You'll be glad that you did, okay? You really will. Well, here's what's going on. Wow. Yes, everybody's talking about the what? The Christmas ornament, the Paul Begley what? Christmas ornament. Get yours today. Go to my website, click on the store, and get yours today, okay? Jared Kushner, and 3 Arab monarchies are at the heart of the Paramount bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. We found out that Paramount Skydance has launched a $108 billion takeover bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, the entertainment giant that owns Hollywood movie studios, CNN, HBO, and other media businesses. The bid is led by David Ellison. He's the son of tech billionaire Larry Ellison, who is a prominent Donald Trump supporter and a big Republican donor. Now, Netflix had already prevailed over Paramount in a previous bidding competition for the purchase, but Trump announced on Sunday that he would be involved in his administration's review of that Netflix deal. The president suggested that the sale could be a problem because Netflix is already dominant in the U.S. streaming market, and this could be a violation of antitrust laws. So Paramount was left out but Paramount left out a very significant fact in the press release announcing their offer and their bid to funding from the private equity firm that they have gotten. They've gotten a significant amount of money to help them try to buy Warner Brothers. And what they left out was the fact that a business firm owned by Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, as well as 3 Arab monarchies, Saudi Arabian, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. 3 different guys who are part of the monarchies of those 3 countries. Now, we don't know who those 3 guys are. Is one of them Mohammed bin Salman? We don't know. But it's definitely a big, rich monarchy from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, along with Jared Kushner. They collectively have billions and billions of dollars in an ongoing ventures involving the Trump family business. But those details were buried when in the required paperwork filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. In an interview with CNBC, David Ellison, Paramount's CEO, argued that his company's offer would face less scrutiny from U.S. regulators because Paramount is smaller than Netflix and has a friendly relationship with the Trump administration. In the president's transactional and often corrupt approach to governance, many people say, it was also certainly helps that Paramount bid would directly involve Jared Kushner and these Arab monarchies that have struck lucrative business deals already with some of the Trump organization and Trump businesses. Now, the president said that he is not involved in this bid at all. He is reviewing the Netflix bid and whether or not they are violating antitrust laws. So this is very interesting. This was buried in the details that Jared Kushner's group that he has with Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, that they would be collectively with Kushner. And remember, Jared Kushner is a billionaire himself. So collectively, they are trying to help with others, help Paramount buy Warner Brothers. This is huge because if Paramount gets to buy Warner Brothers, yes, they will own CNN as well as HBO and Hollywood Movie Studios and others. Okay, this is big. So Netflix won the bid to buy it, but the government is saying, hold on a minute. You've already owned a ton of media businesses. This could be you might be breaking antitrust laws. You would have a monopoly in the entire media. And so they may stop Netflix from making that purchase and instead let Paramount buy these entities. And this is huge if that happens. Now, Jared Kushner's group in the pledge out of the $108 billion offer, Jared Kushner, Saudi Arabia monarchy, a Qatar monarchy, and the United Arab Emirate monarchy collectively have pledged $24 billion into the deal. $24 billion. So this is a big piece. Now, that doesn't mean that they would have the controlling position. I think Larry Ellison would have the controlling, David Ellison, the son of Larry Ellison. David Ellison, who's already the CEO of Paramount, he would have a larger share. But Kushner would own a piece of the pie, And Ellison is already a big supporter of Trump. So you can know for sure that if this deal happens, CNN you would begin to see CNN shifting its media coverage to more in the center anyway. They would definitely stop being in the left and come more into the center and maybe center right. Okay, maybe they don't go as far right as Fox News, but I think they'd be just right of center. And if they did, and they would all of a sudden, and they got some new anchors in there, you would begin to see CNN's ratings begin to climb, and more people would be watching CNN than have ever watched it before. And MSNBC would take, in some ways, MSNBC would benefit by that. I'm going to tell you why. Because some of your liberal left-wing people, they would just all run to MS Now. I think they changed their names. They're no longer MSNBC. Now they call themselves MS Now. Some of those folks would go there. And then some of the Fox viewers would go to CNN, okay? And then CNN would be considered more independent. Thus, the independent viewers would stay and probably even be, So I would think what would happen is Fox would come down a little in their ratings. MS Now would go up a little bit in their ratings, and CNN would go up in their ratings. But the good news is you would have two media cable news networks that are more right-wing, more conservative, and more make more sense. And you only have one liberal cable news network. Now, don't worry. They got plenty else. They've got ABC, they got NBC, they got CBS, and then they got all the print media. And that's what you're going to find out when you watch this interview that Paul Jr. and I did with this producer from CNN. You're going to see that we didn't agree, okay? We just did not agree. But we were very respectful. But we did not agree, okay? Because we don't get people on to go to war and beat people up. But when people just start lying, we finally have to say something. All right. So things are really heating up now. Now, I want to say something with Jared Kushner. Let's go back to Jared Kushner for a minute, because I'm just talking about potentially Jared Kushner owning a piece of CNN. Jared Kushner is a very interesting individual. A lot of people got their eye on this guy. He's back in the White House now. And not in an official role. He's just called Jared. But he is now involved in the structuring of what's called the Peace Board, the Board of Peace, that is going to be a part of this Middle East peace deal and the managing of the Gaza Strip. He's now involved in that, along with Steve Witkoff and, of course, Marco Rubio, who is the Secretary of State. And so Jared Kushner has been brought in because of his relationship with the Saudi Arabians and with Qatar and with the United Arab Emirates and other Middle Eastern nations that he and also Jared is Jewish. So he has a real strong relationship with the nation of Israel. This is a very unique individual. Now, while he's involved in these things, a lot of people are wondering, what other role is he got? Well, Trump just announced that he is also going to be involved in the Ukraine-Russia peace negotiation. So now he's in that as well with Steve Witkoff and Marco Rubio. So he's in that one too, because he does have some relationships in Europe, of course, as well. So what does this all mean in the big picture? And when you think about it in the long run, Kushner also is involved with leaders in the Knesset in Israel who are wanting to build the third temple. And Kushner is also involved in that, which is very interesting, but that's kind of hush-hush, and that's under the radar. But I do have that information from my own Israeli insiders. So with all this going on, what is Kushner's role? Now, I remember when Jared Kushner owned the 666 building on Fifth Avenue in New York City. Heidi and I went there, and I went inside to try to film. I was trying to go up to the 41st floor, where I knew that is the floor where a lot of the, I got to be careful how to say it, influential people would go, and there was a cigar lounge on the 41st floor where Al Sharpton was always there, but there were other big players. So I thought, why not? I had my little camera. Why not? Let's see if I can get in there. Well, the problem I had was when I went to the elevator, you got to know the secret code. The elevator won't even open without the code. And I tried a couple codes, and then all of a sudden security came, grabbed me under both arms, and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, I'm just trying to go up to the 41st floor." And they said, "No, you're not." And they tossed me out of the lobby and told me not to come back. Now, that was back in 2012, and Jared Kushner owned the building. Since then, Kushner has sold the 666 building on Fifth Avenue, and the people who bought it have changed the address. It is no longer 666. It's now 667. They got the post office and New York City to change the address to 667 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York. Okay, so it's no longer that. That's very interesting. Kushner made a lot of money off the sale. So he bought it cheap, sold it high, made a lot of money. Stan Deyo, it's always amazing to me. I talk to a lot of people. When I talked to Dr. Irvin Baxter, he always said, keep your eye on Emmanuel Macron. When I talked to Stan Deyo, he always said, keep your eye on Jared Kushner. When I talk to other people, I won't say their names, a lot of them say, keep your eye on Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia. So interesting that these three names keep popping up in this big scheme of things, okay, from a very prophetic position. I think we're going to watch it very close because I thought Kushner was out of the picture, but nope, he's back. And like I said, he's going to be playing a key role for the Trump administration in the Middle East and the Russia-Ukraine negotiations. And as I told you, he's also behind the scenes involved with others on the potential planning of the Third Temple in Jerusalem. Are you serious? This is getting very interesting. Very interesting. So get some coffee, everybody. And calm down. Interesting.
I see geese flying high above the water, a child fishing with his father in the rain. I can smell blackberry brandy and chocolate-covered candy. I see a soldier crying on a train, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn.
BP Earth Watch, you're right.
Streets of Paris, I was lost and so afraid.
I got one more thing to say about it.
Reading Hemingway. I feel the deepness of his weakness. I can taste the brandy sweetness at a roadside Idaho cafe. I can hear old Teddy laughing, Fitzgerald's toes a-tapping to the roaring sounds of yesterday. Falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway.
So I'm going to give you an update here on... yeah, there is a little horn out there. Very good, Lori. Very good.
And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all
BP Earthwatch in the house.
as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth for the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And a shotgun blast echoed across the page, falling asleep, reading Hemingway.
I'm going to be talking more about Jared Kushner in the coming days. That's for sure. Because of course, a lot of people, and somebody just bought a book, want an autographed copy. I'm going to ship it to you today. Shipped 2 of them yesterday. If you want to get a copy of my book at my website, you can. Revelation 9:11. You can get the autographed copy, and I'll sign it. I'll also leave a private note and ship it to you. Okay, you can do that. But my new book coming out called Trump versus the Beast. Trump versus the Beast. That is, wow. Jared Kushner is going to be in that book. Mohammed bin Salman is in that book. Emmanuel Macron is in that book. What do these 3 guys, role do they all play? And I'm going to tell you something. Tony Blair was supposed to be, here it is, Trump versus the Beast, okay? It's number 4 on new releases. It's number 4 this morning on new releases in the prophecy section of Amazon. Number 4 new release, okay? Number 4 new release. It went number 1 new release 4 different times. You guys have been pre-ordering it. But let me just tell you this. In this book, Trump versus the Beast, we are definitely going to be talking about Jared Kushner in the book, profiling him, as well as Mohammed bin Salman, as well as Emmanuel Macron and others. We're also going to identify the 10 kings of Revelation. Who are these 10 horns that have 10 crowns, and they become kings 1 hour with the beast? Who are they? Oh, I'm not forgetting the bloodline. Oh, don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry. Prince William's in this. Look, we're going to get to them all. The key guys, okay? The key players. And so a lot of people have been talking about my book, Trump versus the Beast. It is the much anticipated sequel to the best-selling Revelation 9:11. The historic comeback of the re-election of President Donald Trump was not just a monumental geopolitical event. It was a world-shaking moment, folks. Are you serious? In a spiritual battle of biblical proportions. This conflict, which involves global institutions, corporate entities, and the deep state, has roots in Bible prophecy, especially in the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation. The fight between these competing forces has intensified. And as Trump faces unprecedented media attacks, legal challenges, and constant threat of being assassinated, the tension is building toward what Bible scholars call the end times and prophesied rise of the global dictator known as the Beast, the Antichrist. In Trump versus the Beast, we'll explore the second Trump presidency as a focal point in a broader context of a spiritual and geopolitical war. At the heart of this battle are the figures, the people, the institutions that hold the vast power across the globe. These figures who, according to prophecy, may very well serve as the 10 kings of Revelation found in Daniel and also in Revelation, especially in Revelation 17, verses 12 through 13. Who will help the beast? Who are these 10 kings? Who is the Antichrist who is going to ascend to power? These are not traditional monarchs, but rather powerful individuals and entities who during their final days in these end times will be chosen by the beast to carry out his agenda. This system will not just be political. It will be cultural, economic, and technological, influencing every aspect of life. And according to Revelation, the beast kingdom will dominate the earth, and the 10 kings will play a pivotal role in enforcing his rule. We're already witnessing, guys, early phases of this new world order, the Illuminati, with global institutions pushing agendas that seem to be aligned perfectly with prophecy. And rather than focusing on a singular figure, which we will identify potential candidates to be the Antichrist, I'm going to be working with my co-author, Troy Anderson. We're going to focus on the groups and the networks of power that could pave the way for such a leader. The 10 kings, as described in Daniel and Revelation, are often understood to be powerful individuals, corporations, or geopolitical regions who will hold sway over the earth's systems during the final days. I'm telling you, in my book, Trump versus the Beast, we're going to explore the rise of these 10 kings, the global elites who control, although no one can definitively, guys, identify the Antichrist at this point. But the actions of these 10 kings and connections demonstrate a clear path toward a system of global domination that would make the rise of a singular powerful ruler possible. In the New World Order, the Illuminati will anoint the Antichrist. He may not emerge as a lone figure, but as a culmination of years of shadowy collaboration and ideological manipulation and technological control with AI. Trump versus the Beast, I'm going to explore the deep state strategies that try to sabotage Trump's presidency, the media attacks, the lawfare, the ideological warfare that are being used to try to prevent Trump and his team from fulfilling his mission, particularly in light of the upcoming 2026 midterm elections. Trump is exposing how unelected bureaucrats, behind-the-scenes power brokers, are spending hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars to fund the beast system and its anti-American, anti-Christian, and anti-Israel agendas, supporting communistic, terroristic regimes, human trafficking, and the flow of fentanyl and other deadly drugs into America, resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths. Trump is cutting off the flow of taxpayer money to the beast system and is waging an all-out counterattack. These efforts are part of a larger spiritual battle, and understanding them will provide critical insight into the forces at play in this coming global conflict. So this is what our new book, Trump versus the Beast. If you'd like to pre-order the book, please do that. Just go to Amazon and you can order it today and help us drive it to be a #1 bestseller. We sure hope so. Our publisher is Newsmax, and they will be promoting it, no doubt about that. You'll be able to find it not only at Amazon, but you can buy it. You can also pre-order the book at Barnes & Noble, at Books A Million, at Target, at Walmart, and also I think it's in a lot of independent bookstores, including the Harvard bookstore. I can't believe they're putting that in there. And Book Soup out of California, another prominent bookstore. Guys, I got to let you go. I got a call coming in that I got to get. Love all of you. See you in a little bit with more on the coming apocalypse.